It's me. So, wow on this episode. Just so much wow. I'm going to start with the hard parts first, and then I'm going to go back to all of my fun notes. This was such a fun episode, like off the rails, whatever. And then smash you in the face is what it did. I'm folding Olivia and Matthew's laundry, and I'm weeping. The part that killed me... Ooh, I'm going to try not to cry while I explain this. So watching what happened and then it taking a breath, where the little girl leaves, taking a breath, and you sit there in the quiet for a minute, and then when the lights come back, I'm obviously at this point in time already crying with what's going on with the little girl and stuff like that. And then it coming back and then her being, grown, like, it was nice that they did it for Mbenga, because it was like, we aren't going to sit there and watch him for the next, 3 seasons agonizing about the decision that he made. So that was a nice thing to do for him. But, it happened quick, so that I needed a minute to catch my breath with all of it. But the part that, they really were like, let's go for the gullet, is when she comes back and she's like, it's okay, you did the right thing. I snot cried out of nowhere, because of all the things that parents want, we just want to know that we're doing the right thing by our kids. And having to make that difficult of a decision was fucking rough. So, beautiful way to do that. Way to go for the gullet with all of the things, you rat fucking bastard, Star Trek. But beautifully done. Now I'm going to go back to the beginning happy stuff so that I can get all the emotions out first and then get back to the fun. Okay, so I'm stoked that we had an Mbenga episode, because I have been wanting some Mbenga, because I kind of dig his little world-weary, quiet vibe, and I wasn't sure how long we were going to drag out this thing with his daughter. The world is weird in that you're not going to go ahead and get, a solution and stuff like that for all of that. But I, early on, was like, do not hurt this little girl. I'll kill you for this show. I know Star Trek is not mean like that, but, they definitely, they toe the line with things. And because it's Star Trek and it's magic and science and stuff like that, I had a feeling hijinks were going to happen. Let me go through my list here. Again, oops, as I got on the floor. I made a list again. As much as Spock, like I said, is constantly playing the I'm Spock and I'm logical, whatever, I did enjoy, the little notes of him where it was like, hey, didn't you say that normally bad shit happens? Isn't there, a superstition that once you say shit out loud, shit goes crazy? And, it's superstition, jinx, or whatever. I enjoyed that about him. And then watching, right after as soon as he's like, I could get used to this, you're like, because we're so used to, as human beings being like, stop saying that for it. So it was cool to have Spock, the voice of reason, call out the thing that was like, hey, don't say, just, you know what I mean? That part was great. I'm going to go through each of the characters because they were just amazing with all of how the overacting and extra acting they did. Pike as a wussy kiss ass was amazing. He totally swerved into the character because he's so into Pike is always very steadfast and chill and cool and the boss you love and stuff like that. And then him being such a wuss with all of this and just such a kid, it was so great. You could totally tell he was enjoying it. Did I know that he was gonna betray Mbenga? Very early on, and I didn't know the story or whatever, but obviously they have certain tropes that you do, but definitely and then later on he's like, shit, I should have known too, because he betrays him in the book, but I don't know why I thought this was gonna be different or something like that, so I like that. This is the most I've ever liked La'an with her as Princess Dahlia, because she was so ridiculous. And yes, my lord, with the stupid dog and oh my god, it was the most I've ever in my life liked La'an, and I feel like they did that on purpose because she's so stoic and so steadfast and her this is what she feels and that's it. And she was just such a complete opposite character. And I think that's what's great about this is that they decided to play people for opposites. Everyone was just so deliciously extra that I just enjoyed it. I'm going to get to my favorite one in a few minutes. Hemmer being clear on what's going on from his telepathic abilities was a nice little side thing. And they were like, yeah, I think maybe it's because I'm psychic and stuff, or telepathic or whatever. I was like, sure, we'll go with that. My brain was like, is it because he's blind? Is it because he's telepathic? Is it because he's an engineer? Like, what is this because of? But whatever, it's fine. I'm glad that Mabenga had an ally in all of it. So I thought that was cool. Long-haired Spock, long-haired Aragorn Spock. I was like, of course, this is what we're doing with this. You know what I mean? Like, I enjoyed that because it was just like he's holding the wooden staff and like, for some reason, him as a, like, he wasn't any different from who he normally was. You know what I mean? Like, the only difference is that our Spock is very loyal and this Spock is a shady motherfucker. So, but other than that, like, his cadence was the same. How he acted was the same, like all that other stuff. So I thought that was interesting how Spock could be a wizard and a wizard of science, which I thought was interesting. I did like how we made the scenery various things, like the hallways were the woods and that the swamp of infinite death was like the tubes. Nice how they played into like the scenery and stuff like that. My two favorite characters in this whole, like, whatever, are Ortegas, who is the fucking MVP of the goddamn episode. In every moment that she says things, where she's like, you gonna say the thing? Or from that moment to the point where she's like, I would die 1,000 deaths before I have to listen to your stupid whining again. Like, the bravery, her little back and forth with Una when she's, like, the huntress or something like that. Like, that... Ortegas is just like the fucking star of the MVP of the episode. The other person who's fucking epic in this episode is Uhura as Queen Neve. Now, candidly, at first, I thought Una was going to be Queen Neve, whatever. But she was epic in this. Like, she was badass. She was killing that outfit, for one. Like, she was wearing the shit out of that outfit, where she had, like, those nails she kept doing, and her tone, and her... like, sharpness with how she said things. Like, I enjoyed Uhura being that. And again, like I said, we're playing opposites of our personality here. Whereas Ortega's normally, like, the chill chick who is a little bit adventurous, whereas now she's, like, the swashbuckling, whatever. Chick? Is that the right thing to... I don't know. But she was Sir Bard, something. And watching him, I'm not sure what her pronouns are. I want to be careful with that. But watching Ortegas do that was fantastic. And Uhura was just killing it as the queen in so many different spaces. Like, I was interested in every scene that had the queen in it. Because I would totally like, ooh, what deliciousness is she going to do now? It was a fun little callback to having Ortegas and Una together with that. Now, granted, I know it was Chapel and her that were together. Chapel was like meh in this episode and stuff like that. Like, she played, you know, the Fair Maiden or something, but she was kind of meh, like throwaway. But I guess because she had her episode like last episode, then we didn't really need too much for her this one. But yeah, Uhura and Ortegas were my favorite characters in this episode. And last but not least, like I said, the end where you did the right thing and, like, you know, they tied that up really nicely with what happened. So it didn't drag on. So it wasn't like whatever for a good long while. It was perfect. I thought it was beautifully done. I was a big fan of it and it was just very nice. So anyway, let me know what you think, or maybe you did let me know what you think. I'm going to go look at your video now and see if it exists. So, all right, we'll talk soon. All right, bye.